Imagine you're standing on stage, spotlight. You're giving your speech, and you've got the audience in the palm of your hand, and you end with a bang, standing ovation, and you see in the back, there's the event planner, leaning up against the wall with a smile. You get off the stage, you walk back to the event planner pulls an envelope out of her jacket and hands it to you. It's a nice big check. There's a crowd waiting for you to come out. They want your autograph. They want to talk to you. They're handing you their business card. They want to hire you. Outside the venue is waiting your limousine. You get into the limousine, you pull out your phone, you check for the emails, you see that the fans from the audience are tweeting about you, 3 engagement requests, they want to hire you, and life is good. You're a speaker. This is the dream. This is the dream that I wanted when I wanted to become a speaker 10 years ago. But I had no idea, how do you create this reality? How do you actually get these gigs and these speeches, and how do you get that nice big check? So, in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to share with you the path that I took over 10 years, which I would not recommend for you, because it was long and hard and struggling, and there's actually a much easier way to get on stages, to share your message, to get paid and attract your ideal client to you. So, there I was, a little boy, watching Tony Robbins on the infomercials with the stadium full of people and the rah, 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 and I said, I want to be a Tony Robbins. There's no career path for that. How do you sign up for the Become Tony Robbins program? So I joined the Association of Professional Speakers, and I found out you apply, you get gigs, and you get paid, but a mentor told me, he said, don't quit your day job. This is going to take years and years and years to build. And in fact, it did. And I always had a side job, and speaking was always my side hustle. And it took me a long time before I finally landed my first paid speaking gig at the retirement home. There was 5 people in the audience. The average age was 75 years old. I was talking about something I didn't really have a whole lot of expertise in, conflict management for old people. And I was paid for the first time. I got money. Well, not actually money, because it was a gift card to Starbucks, a $25 gift card to Starbucks. And I go, yes, I'm a paid speaker now. But I had no plan. And I was not sure how to get the next one. And the next one came, and it was a $100 training engagement, a workshop. I was hired by an organization to train. They said, what do you charge? And I was like, lots of money. I charge $100. But how do you pay the bills? How do you keep things going? So I went from gig to gig to gig, and the gigs weren't really coming to me. And I thought, that's because I must not be a very good speaker, or I must not be very awesome, because there's all these awesome people who have won Olympic gold medals and climbed mountains with one leg and done extraordinary heroic things, and I'm just me. But I want to share my message. I want to address audiences and help them with something. I don't know what I got to talk about, but I want to talk about something. That was kind of my mood at the time. The gigs weren't coming to me, and I thought it wasn't awesome enough. So I decided I will become an author, because when you're an author, you are an authority. You're an authority. And so I spent 2 years writing what I thought was just going to be the best book, and I ordered a whole bunch of them, just enough to fill my shed full of piles of books. What happened to them speaking gigs? The phone was not ringing, people were not discovering me, and I thought, I don't have a good enough book. Now wait a second, nobody's heard about me. They're not here, they don't have my book. How do I get out there? So I hired a coach. I hired a speaker marketing coach. And he said to me, what's your speaker engagement campaign? I said, what's a campaign? You don't have a campaign? I said, what's a campaign? It says it's a series of communication that gets the customer. Who's the customer? So when you're a speaker, your customer is a event planner, right? They have a conference. So I started reaching out to event planners. And I started asking the questions my coach told me to ask, and I started getting gigs. I got paid gigs. I got not so paid gigs. I got free gigs. But what was great about the free gigs, I would speak, and people would still come up to me and say, can I hire you for training? Can I hire you for coaching? Can Can I hire you for consulting? So a couple years go by. I'm at the national convention of the Speaker Association, and there is a private room for the high-income earners, $350,000 or more. There's only 12 people in this room out of the whole association, and I made it. It was like my goal to make it into this room, but I made it not from speaker fees. I made some speaker fees, but all that money was coming from coaching and consulting and training, because when you take the stage, they like you, they know you, they trust you, they want to do business with you. I had the campaign. The series of communications that gets the speaking gig. But it wasn't just the campaign, it was having the right speech. See, I learned from giving the wrong speech, which was all about sales pitch and buy now while supplies last and all this sort of marketing frenzy stuff. I pitched an audience and turned the whole audience off. The event planner came up to me afterwards and said, "Do not do that again." I was honestly worried that I was going to be blackballed in the speaking industry. But I said, I need to learn how to do this right. Give a valuable talk that people can really resonate with, really get something that's entertaining and it's informative. And the right people in the audience will feel compelled to want to take the next step, possibly to hire me. So I studied, I took programs, and I refined the process to now I know step by step how to take a speaker, learn what their service is that they want people to buy after the speech, and help them craft the best possible speech to really serve the audience and inspire them to take action. So I learned that, and I started delivering speeches on time management and networking. I'll give you a quick story on networking. I created this online course, and I hosted it online, and I hadn't sold any because I didn't know how to like blast it out and make the funnels and the clicks all work together, but I had a speech on networking. So I gave the speech on networking, and I said, guys, if you like this, I have a course, and if you want it, I'm going to give you a special price today, and I passed out an order form. And to my surprise, everyone's taking out their credit cards and filling out these order forms. Out of 15 people, 6 of them bought my $300 course, and I shuffle up these papers. I go sit in the car, and I'm processing credit card payments on my phone. I'm like, I just made $300. I just made another $300, $1,800 from a free speaking gig. Because I learned how to give value first and help people make the decision to take the next step. So, 10 years in the business, 10 years as a professional speaker, I get all the time asked, how do you get started? You start by saying, who do you want to serve? Who's my audience? And then what is that speech that they need to hear right now so that they're inspired to continue to solve the problem with you? That is the way to profitably speak as an expert. So let me give you an example of one of my clients we did this with. Her name's Erica. She's a hypnotherapist. She had a speaking engagement in front of a whole bunch of ideal clients. She called me up a week before, and she said, Majeed, I don't have a speech, but I'm speaking in 7 days. So we sat down, we figured out who's the message, who's the client, what's their pain. We went through the whole process, and she created a super engaging speech that had music and dance moves, and she actually asked the organizer of the conference to come and watch the speech. So at the end of the speech, she gets off the stage. There's a crowd of people around her wanting to sign up for her program. The president of the organization walks up, pushes through the people, and says, now that is the future of NGH, their organization. She got recognition. She got legitimacy. She got put up on a pedestal because of the fact that she gave a great speech that resulted in tons of new clients and tons of new revenue, but it was not a sales pitch. It was a valuable, entertaining presentation that was crafted for that audience to be a solution to their problem. Now, being involved in the Association of Professional Speakers and knowing that most speakers don't do so well financially, I've seen people over the years, I've seen speakers 10 years later telling me the same story of they're struggling, they have their day job, they have their side job, and they wish they could just get out there more, but they're doing things like rebranding or working on their website or worrying about what to put on their business card because they haven't learned that the way to make money, the way to make big money as a speaker is not to chase speaking fees that are reserved for celebrities. but instead to find the right audiences and the right events and give the speech that attracts clients. The sad thing is, those speakers who are struggling actually have really important messages. They actually have great gifts that I wish they could bring to their audiences and that their audiences can continue to be served by their services. But they just don't know how to do it. The worst thing is when they do it and they do it wrong. They get on a stage and they pitch like I pitched and make the event planner upset and make the audience uncomfortable and nobody signs up, and then they think, geez, I'm never going to pitch on the stage again. Forget about pitching. Stop pitching. Give a great speech that inspires your audience to connect with you. And that's what we do. That's what we do at the Expert Speaker Institute. We train speakers, we train entrepreneurs to craft the ideal client's signature speech that they give it in front of the right audience, and the audience is inspired and moved to take action, to want to work with them. So, if you have a coaching program, a training program, if you have an online course, if you have a book, if you have a service that you know can help people, and you have a message and a story that you know can get on stages, you need a signature speech that can attract the client, and you need a campaign that gets you booked like clockwork. That's what we do. And if you want that, you should apply to Expert Speaker. Go to expertspeaker.com/apply and book a conversation with me. And what I'll do is I'll help you identify the business model and the smallest areas of improvement that can make the biggest difference for you, so that you'll have an action plan to actually design the right speech, deliver the right campaign to get booked, so that you can help your people. Listen, your message is important. Your speech deserves to be heard. It needs to get on stages, and now is your time.